That there is called tone. That's not the tone we want to use here at StoneWater, but it's fun to use anyway. So we were just discussing, I just want you to know that was like 15 takes to do that face and play that at the same time. We couldn't stop laughing. So anyway, we're going to talk about tone a little bit today. I am not some tone master that has all the answers to tone. I am always trying to learn from guys who have been playing a whole lot longer than I have. But I just want to kind of show you just some basic things that I've learned over the years that have really helped just to get the sound that I have. Not that it's anything special, but anyway, I just know that when I was learning guitar and stuff, like the more help, not even when I was learning, now the more help I can get, just the better it is for me. So I'm constantly learning, and I just want to show you guys just a couple of things. So for one, let's go over here to this amp. This is an orange Rockford 50. We actually don't use this on Sundays. We used to, but I think the one I play through is a Bogner Shiva, and the one that the other guitar player is playing through is an Ignitor right now. So anyway, right now we just keep this in here in the studio, and so I just want to show you something real quick. If you'll notice, it's on a clean setting. Oh, let me back up. Amp heads. Amp heads, we use amp heads and cabs as opposed to combo amps for two reasons. Mainly because the way we have our stage set up, is we have our amps on stage, our amp heads on stage, but then backstage we have our cabs locked away in a room. We'll actually do a tour of that sometime and show you guys kind of where those are at. Those are locked away in a padded box that's basically built just for amps, and so that way we can have access to our amp heads, make some different changes and stuff, but still keep the sound coming mainly through the sound system as opposed to getting a whole lot of stage volume from the amp. So okay, back over here to the amp. I am on a clean setting. That there is the clean setting. So you hear this on clean. Okay, so one thing I learned as a guitar player early on is to have a real good clean sound. Make your clean sound just as good and as full as you want it to be, and then try to revolve everything else around that. Okay, there's two different things. There's that, and then there's also using your amp as a gain, or using the gain on your amp as your overdrive. Okay, so just recently, or not recently, I guess the last couple of years, I've been playing mainly with a clean sound on the amp, and then going over to the pedals and letting the pedals do the work with the overdrive. So what I did here on this amp particularly, all this from left over that way is all the dirty channel. This is the clean channel. All it is a treble, bass, and volume. So lots of times you'll see some high-end amps like Matchless and things like that only have these three because they don't really worry about the overdrive channel. They want you to do your work with your pedals. So right now I have my bass turned that way. You can see that, and then my treble is that way. So they're kind of just pointing opposite of each other. So I just kind of, with this amp, with this guitar, it really depends on what amp and what guitar you're using as opposed to what sound you want. But you just want, just like you're equalizing anything, you want a good mixture of all things. So I want a little bit of treble, I want a little bit of bass, and then kind of meeting in the middle for the mids, which is not a button here. There's no volume for mids, but that's why I have this one face that way, that one that way. So it kind of evens them out. And then volume doesn't really matter for in this room. So from there, you got your clean channel. Okay, and then you want to have an overdrive. In my opinion, you want to always have one really good overdrive, or that you consider good, that you like the sound out of it, and a tuner, a volume pedal, and a delay pedal. You can get away with that and do just fine. So the one that I always use, which is, it's funny because it's actually the cheapest pedal on my board, but it's the one that I like the most. So it's the Green Rhino Way Huge overdrive pedal, and basically my drive is almost all the way off on the pedal. If on a scale of 1 to 10, it's at like a 1.5. It's almost off, but because of just the way this pedal's made, it goes from this clean sound overdrive sound. Okay, so basically you're wanting to keep the tone of your amp. That's why we buy the amps we buy. That's why we have particular amps, is because we want the tone from our amp. We want that to come through in the overdrive of our pedals. So if I've got this sound from a clean aspect, and you add this, I didn't completely change the way my amp sounds. I added overdrive to it, I added a little bit, but I didn't completely change it. And what I mean by completely change it is I'm going to turn the drive up a lot, and then you'll hear the difference here. Okay, so that completely changed the way that the amp sounds, okay? As opposed to just adding a little bit of drive. You still get those tones from the amp, you still have the lows right, the mids right, and then you can go from there. So the main thing is just to not add too much drive. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that young guitar players make, that new guitar players make, that it's just, you know, you can kind of get away with a lot more if you have a lot more drive. The more drive you have, the more mistakes you can make, I guess, but it doesn't always sound better. It rarely sounds better. So you just want to have just a little bit of drive in that. So that's really the main thing on kind of where we're going with this little video. So if you have any questions about amp tone, or even if you wanted to send a video to me and say, hey, this is the tone I have, do you have any suggestions on what I could do? I could maybe help you out a little bit. Again, I am no tone master. I'm not claiming to be someone who is just awesome at this great tone, but just kind of showing you guys a little bit of what I learned. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me or write a message at the bottom of the YouTube page. Catch you guys later.